to Political Capital on Bloomberg TV India, the show where Delhi meets Dalal Street. I am Priyal Gulyani Bhattacharya, sitting in for Vivek Law. Today we put the focus on the region that is quite literally at the center of all the election action, the National Capital Territory of Delhi, which votes on the 10th of April. The assembly election held last December took Arvind Kejriwal to the Chief Minister's chair, giving him a national profile. The Congress has had a strong grip on Delhi's parliamentary seats in the last two elections. But this time, the BJP and AAP are expected to do well. Well, first up, Nazia is here with the promises made specifically to Delhi's voters by the BJP and the Aam Aadmi. Nazia.
Well, yes, BJP and AAP both were neck to neck in the Delhi Assembly elections, and no wonder there's some overlap in their manifestos as well. Now, power tariff is a common ground for both parties. BJP proposes to lower power tariff by 30% by promoting competition between the discoms. Now, BJP also proposes bringing discoms under CAG and CAG under RTI ambit. Now, also something that AAP did do in the 49 days of being in power. Inflation has been one of the biggest concerns for the government, and BJP now promises to curb inflation within a month. The party's manifesto for Delhi also talks about integrated transport system for Delhi NCR. Setting up of accountability commission is also there, and a universal health insurance in Delhi. The party in the past has been against FDI and multi-brand retail trading, as the party felt that it will have impact on small retailers. Therefore, the party says that they will ensure interest of small and micro retailers is protected, a point that resonates very well with the AAP, who has in the past made sure that FDI in multi-brand retail trading is not allowed in Delhi. AAP has also floated the idea of a town hall kind of discussion for public projects. It strongly believes in public participation, which comes through in their agenda. It also talks about streamlining public expenditure and revamping urban planning really. Water and electricity have been the Aam Aadmi Party's mission from the very beginning. Their manifesto promises free piped water of 20 kiloliter per household per month and subsidized electricity supply of up to 400 units per month. AAP also talks about implementation of right to education and improvement of sanitation infrastructure. The party's manifesto put in provision of government housing for government employees and implementation of the 7th Pay Committee report from Jan 1st, 2016. It also mentions better planning of traffic, VIP management, and creation of multi-level parking spaces. For health, it says improving service in government hospitals, and for a place like Delhi with many unauthorized colonies, AAP's manifesto talks about regularization of unauthorized colonies. Now, these are the big parties, the big contenders for the capital, and we'll have to see what really happens there with the manifestos.
Well, thank you, Nazia, for that. Of course, we will get some views of our experts joining in later in the show as far as these promises are concerned. But for now, Harshvardhan, the BJP's candidate from the Chandni Chowk constituency, was also the party's chief ministerial candidate in last winter's assembly elections. He spoke to Vivek Law in the run-up to those elections on how he expected Narendra Modi's popularity to take the NDA to power at the center. Listen in.
The type of response that Mr. Narendra Modi is receiving all over the country, it is tremendous.
You're saying it's even more than what you've seen for a leader like Atal Bihari Vajpayee?
I think not me only. If you ask anybody in the country, even the opposition, they may not say that for political reasons, but if you talk to them at a personal level, they will endorse what I am saying, that it is historic. It is, I think it's really beyond my vocabularies to be able to express exactly the type of response, because we have been witness to all this at a couple of places. We have seen that in Delhi, we have seen that, and at some other places.
But you believe, sir, that this response will take the party and its few allies at this point of time to majority? Or do you believe somewhere it's going to be more of a fractured mandate, that you may do better than last time, but not enough?
I think the leadership of Mr. Narendra Modi has the quality and the capability and the potential of attracting not only the voters, not only the youth, but at the end of the day, you will find all the allies who right now feel that they probably don't want to align with Mr. Modi, because they feel that if they get their name associated with him, they might lose some votes of some particular communities, which also is not true. If you visit Gujarat, you will find, if you do an objective survey, you will find more support for Mr. Narendra Modi from Muslims as compared to Hindus. This is a fact. He has won elections in last couple of years from constituencies which were predominantly Muslim areas, which had more Muslim population than the Hindu population. So all this publicity about him regarding whatever is being done by the media over the years, I think it has never resulted in any positive result for those who publicize all these adverse things. It has always boomeranged on them. So I see a very bright future for the country. And
you believe there is a Modi wave, a big Modi wave?
I think if there is something more than, if I can coin a term which is, I think, more powerful than the wave, it is actually that I have, what you call it, say an upheaval or whatever it is. It is something extraordinary, never seen before.
Well, we slip into a very short break on the political capital. Coming up, which way will Delhi's voters swing on the 10th of April? We put that question to Rohit Prasad of the MTI and Pankaj Vohra of the Sunday Guardian when we come back. Welcome back to Political Capital on Bloomberg TV India. We are discussing how the national capital is likely to vote in the coming general election. Joining me now to discuss this are Rohit Prasad, Associate Professor of Economics at MDI, and Pankaj Vohra, Managing Editor at the Sunday Guardian. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me here. My first question really would be to Rohit, and I would just want to understand from you, and since December, as far as Delhi is concerned, we've seen some unprecedented events unfolding with regard to its political landscape, with regard to the government. How do you see that entire 3 months or so, or 2 months or so that we've seen in terms of what happened in Delhi, fresh memories there, impacting as far as the Lok Sabha elections are concerned? Let me bring in your thoughts first, Rohit.
Thank you, Priya. As far as the Lok Sabha election is concerned, the 2 months of power of the AAP in Delhi is going to play a role. The momentum of the BJP at the national level is going to play a role, and the increasingly receding fortunes of the Congress is also going to play a role. So if I was to give a prediction, I would go constituency by constituency. In the 3 constituencies in which AAP was the largest party in terms of assembly seats, that is Chandni Chowk, New Delhi and East Delhi, I would say that AAP will continue to have a strong position. In Chandni Chowk, because they will get Congress votes and Congress will lose ground further. In East Delhi, because of the personality of Rajmohan Gandhi. And in New Delhi, because in the assembly election they had a sizable lead, winning 6 out of the 9 assembly seats. And it's unlikely that they will lose so much ground that they will lose this seat. In addition, I see a good prospect for them in West Delhi, where they have fielded Jarnail Singh. And remember, during the 2 months that they were in power, they instituted an SIT to look into the Sikh riot, the Sikh massacres of 1984. And apparently, the news that in Gujarat, Sikh farmers were evicted is also going to be used by the AAP in West Delhi. So I see good prospects for them, at least in 3 or 4 of the 7 constituencies, partly because of what they did in the 2 months, and partly because of the decline in the fortune of the Congress.
Well, let me bring in Pankaj here, and there is this whole question that has raised that perhaps the entire issue in terms of AAP resigning from the government has sort of put a question mark on the prospects of AAP in terms of Lok Sabha. Would you agree with what just Rohit pointed out, or do you think the factor as far as the resignation is concerned would play a critical role as far as the upcoming elections on April 10th is concerned?
Well, I agree with Rohit so far as his analysis on or his assessment regarding AAP is concerned. AAP is going to play a very decisive role in the Lok Sabha elections in Delhi, and elections are going to be, of course, held on the 10th of April. And basically, I feel that the fight in Delhi is going to be between AAP and the BJP, and Congress will be a distant third. One of the primary reasons for this is like for instance, in the last elections, the Congress had got 8 seats in the assembly seats. And 6 of those seats were won on the strength of Muslim votes. 70 or 80% of Muslims in Delhi voted for the Congress. Now, since then, a lot of things have changed. AAP has, taken on the BJP head on, and there was this attack on the BJP office also. There was this, this effort by Mr. Arvind Kejriwal to go to Gujarat and send a clear message. So I think the Muslim vote primarily has shifted towards AAP, making it into a very, very formidable, opponent for the BJP. And secondly, as Rohit pointed out, the Sikh vote also has shifted to the AAP in a big way. So personally speaking, this is my assessment that the fight in Delhi is going to be primarily between AAP and BJP. AAP does not have many stars in its, list of candidates, and neither does BJP. BJP, in fact, has put up 3 candidates who, are very, very weak candidates, and I don't see them winning at all. And Congress may have the most impressive list of candidates so far as candidates are concerned, but there is such a strong anti-Congress sentiment throughout the country that it is unlikely to, pick even a single seat in Delhi.
Well, that's an important point that you're making, and I want to get Rohit's thoughts as far as the candidate selection is concerned. The whole idea that, okay, Congress perhaps is suffering from the entire anti-incumbency wave, but you've seen the candidates that have come into picture. When you look at New Delhi, you have Ajay Markan, tried, tested, and of course, the Chandni Chowk is considered to be a tough fight as far as three-way fight is concerned. How do you read? Do you agree with Pankaj in terms of saying that because of the anti-incumbency wave, it will take over the candidates that have come, the strong, tried, tested candidates that Congress has fielded as far as some key constituency in Delhi is concerned?
That is my impression, Priyal, that the candidates are not going to be able to outdo or correct the faults that have actually accrued because of the perceived non-performance of the UPA government.
Okay, so as far as, again, coming now to the BJP candidates here again, as Pankaj pointed out, that perhaps BJP is moving perhaps in the wave that, they are the front runners as polls indicate. And therefore, the candidates that they've fielded on ground as far as Delhi is concerned may not be such strong candidates. But because of the wave that perhaps or is claimed, so to say, to be moving towards them, they would have an added advantage based on that. Would you agree with that? Or do you think that it won't be an easy battle as far as BJP is concerned for Delhi specifically? Rohit, my question is to you.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Basically, what I feel is that as the impact of the national election on Delhi, Priyal, is not going to be that significant. I don't know if Mr. Narendra Modi's charisma is such an important influence. I think even without that charisma, the anti-incumbency with respect to the Congress would have ensured that the BJP and AAP would have gathered up the spoils. Had the Delhi election been held after the Varanasi election, I feel there would have been a significant impact on Delhi, because I think that every time AAP is attacked, their donations go up. People still seem to have a soft corner for them. And AAP has cleverly put itself into a position where willy-nilly they have to be attacked by the strongest party on the block, the strongest kid on the block, and therefore they're going to get a lot of sympathy votes and a lot of sympathy dollars, and that's going to be good for their national campaign, but it's not going to help them in Delhi, nor is the the aura or the charisma of Mr. Modi going to play such a big role? The BJP and is already in a very strong position in Delhi, even without that.
Before I go to Pankaj, Rohit, one more question that I want to understand from you and probably get your sense that do you think that the resignation of Arvind Kejriwal or the government or AAP not continuing in the government would have an impact in terms of the view of people for them to take forward, whether it is for the Lok Sabha or whether it is going to be as and when the elections take place in Delhi. What is your view before I get in, Pankaj, on further ahead as far as Delhi's elections are concerned?
Sure, Priya. Thanks. Actually, we are stuck in a very peculiar situation. On the one hand, we have had 5 years of a Prime Minister who refused to resign despite a slew of scams emerging, some from ministries that he himself was heading. And on the other, we have the case of a Chief Minister resigning at the drop of a hat when perhaps they realized or felt that a bill that was very close to their heart or that had won them their seat was not going to be supported and therefore could not be passed. It's actually, it's really, I do not know what the impact on the electorate would be. I know that in drawing rooms, conversations, and amongst friends, people express a certain amount of disappointment, but then there is also the point of view that at least we had a person who was honorable enough to resign when they realized that they could not deliver the mandate that they had been asked to deliver when they were voted into office. So I'm not clear how that's going to play out, but even if it is a mistake on the part of AAP, AAP is a startup, and startups make lots of mistakes. That's how they learn, and you have to look at it in the long term. In India, we are very intolerant about people's mistakes. We tend to laugh at them. But remember that AAP has done many things right to reach where they have reached, and they are continuing to do many things right. And now they have projected themselves onto the national stage. And we'll know in a few years whether the Delhi resignation was a mistake or not. It's too early to tell.
Pankaj, let me bring you in here and try to understand as far as the entire period or the tenor that we saw as far as AAP's role in the government. There were questions raised, whether they are getting into the whole anarchy of sorts and so on and so forth. That one, and of course the second point with Arvind Kejriwal not really looking at contesting from Delhi a strong or any strong candidates really contesting from Delhi for the AAP. How do you see that? Do you think that there is sort of a belief that they have through the assembly elections earlier really covered the ground well to really let the leaders go outside of Delhi in terms of contesting for Lok Sabha?
First of all, let's get one thing clear. In the last assembly elections, BJP had emerged as the single largest party with 32 seats. AAP was number 2 with 28 seats. And, the onus of forming the government was basically on the single largest party, and the single largest party decided not to form the government on the plea that they did not have the numbers. AAP was also reluctant to seek support either from the BJP or the Congress, but Congress somehow, volunteered and extended support of its 8 MLAs to the AAP, making it into the combination into a majority combination. And AAP, after a referendum, agreed to form a government in Delhi. Now, the thing is that when AAP formed the government, it was not because AAP had gone and sought support of the Congress or AAP had gone and sought support. AAP made it very clear at the very beginning that it did not have the numbers. Therefore, its government was going to be there as long as, the Congress continued to support it, or as long as, it was able to push its agenda on the promises on which it had come to power. On the issue of Jan Lokpal bill, this, arrangement broke down and AAP had resigned. So I don't think, personally speaking, that AAP is responsible for the fall of their government. It is because the entire arrangement was such that it was very fragile and it was going to collapse at any point of time. Having said that, you know, I agree with you when you say that, you know, I personally think that Arvind Kejriwal should have contested the New Delhi parliamentary seat. It would have boosted the morale of the AAP workers in Delhi, and it would have also enhanced the chances of all the AAP candidates, the rest of the 6 remaining candidates. But he has not done that, and neither has BJP. BJP, barring Dr. Harshvardhan, who basically was 5-time MLA from Krishna Nagar, is now contesting his maiden Lok Sabha election from Chandni Chowk. You know, there's hardly a candidate who is, you know, a person who you can say that is a very seasoned person. So Dr. Harshvardhan alone cannot carry the burden of, you know, his own party in the parliamentary elections. Secondly, BJP has tried, you know, in the last elections and for the last few elections, they have been ignoring the powerful Punjabi community, which has, you know, had got alienated after Madanlal Khurana had been sidelined by them. This time, they have, with the hope of getting that powerful community back, they have tried to play this card of putting Meenakshi Lekhi in New Delhi. Meenakshi Lekhi, I'm sure, will help the BJP to enhance its chances in New Delhi. But whether she will win or not will largely depend on whether the AAP gets the kind of support it was getting last time. And overall, the thing is that candidates do count in an election like this. It is not that this is a lamppost election. It is an election which is going to be very closely contested. And, you know, therefore, you know, we have to see the outsiders brought in by BJP to contest from Delhi, despite the fact that they had several people within the city who could have been their candidates. They have ignored their claim and brought in outsiders. How far it will help, or whether the Modi magic will work to, you know, even get lampposts elected to the parliament.
Well, Pankaj, you made a point as far as, you know, both BJP and AAP being the core contenders as far as Delhi is concerned. Most of the polls still point out that perhaps AAP stands a second in in sort of the numbers in there, or the kind of, you know, polls as they indicate. However, I want to understand, couple that fact with that both of them have not really fielded very strong candidates, do you think that it could also spring some surprises as we go ahead for the 10th of April?
Well, I personally think that, you know, AAP and BJP are very evenly poised. I mean, I wouldn't say that AAP is number 2 and BJP is number 1, because, you know, most of these polls which are the pre-poll things are also, you know, many of them are instruments of propaganda, just to propagate that, you know, a certain party is number 1 and certain party is number 2. So, you know, having said that, I mean, things don't normally work out this way. And when you also, you know, put up a certain percentage, the percentage is to the entire city. It is not, you know, it doesn't even out in every constituency. In a place like Delhi, it is very difficult to predict if a party is getting 40% and another party is getting about 34 or 35%. Whether, you know, a person with 34% will not have more seats than the person with 40%. It depends from constituency to constituency, as Rohit had said at the very outset. You know, I personally think that neither is AAP number 2 nor is BJP number 1. I mean, between AAP and BJP, it's going to be a very close contest, and either AAP will get 4 or 5, or BJP will get 4 or 5. It is not going to be anything else other than this.
Well, clearly, whether or not it will be a neck-to-neck war or will spring surprises, we'll have to wait and watch and see how Delhi folds for the entire Lok Sabha election on May 16. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for joining in. That's all we have on this edition of Political Capital. Thanks so much for watching.